They don't want to see us win, prosper, and they'll do anything in their power to stop that. To them, we're not even considered human beings. It's time we stand together.
Stand together is what he was saying. Peace and power, my brothers and my sisters. You're listening to The Midnight Advocate, where justice comes wrapped in truth and paperwork meets the power of prayer. I'm Lucious Conway, your late night legal shepherd, guiding you through the forms, files, and federal rules that can either protect or prevent your breakthrough. Tonight's truth is simple. You paid into this system. You deserve to benefit from this system. We're talking about applying for Social Security disability, both SSI and SSDI. Social Security, supplemental security income, and Social Security disability income. That's SSI and SSDI. And we're talking about how to push past the red tape to get the support you've earned. It's midnight and I'm ready. You ready? Let's get into it. My sister came to me about a year ago in the winter. I think it was around February, March, something like that. And she had been the victim of a car accident. Somebody T-boned her. But prior to that, she fell over something. She was working at the Detroit Public Schools as a secretary and was going out to the parking lot. And you know how they have those cement things you pull up to, and they have rebar sticking through them, supposedly to hold them in place. Well, the cement thing had long gone somewhere, it wasn't there. And she wound up tripping over one of those protruding pieces of rebar and injuring her back, her knee, her neck. And all of that was exacerbated, made worse, when she was T-boned by another car speeding along the way. So she couldn't work, not more than 4 hours at the job she was doing without swelling up and without exhaustion. And she was in excruciating pain. They had put her in therapy. She was on medication, etc. And she had applied for Social Security disability income twice before. And both times she was denied, and both times she had a lawyer. Why? She did not have complete medical records. She did not have a complete work history. And the lawyer she had did not know the administrative practice of Social Security law. I personally represent people in administrative court. I've been doing it for more than 30 years. I've been a paralegal 40 years. And I can represent people in Social Security court. These are called administrative courts because they function on regulations. So if you know the regulations, you can argue before the administrative court judge, who is a lawyer that has been appointed as an administrative judge. And even though I don't have a law degree and I haven't sat for a bar, I am allowed to represent people in Social Security hearings, in DHS hearings, in workers' comp hearings, in unemployment administration hearings. And I've been doing that for, like I said, 30 years. So my sister came to me and she said, Junior, yeah, my family calls me Junior, and she explained the situation to me. So we pulled her treatment history together from various clinics and hospitals she had been to. We documented her work history back 15 years, drafted her personal statement explaining what her daily limitations were, not just her diagnosis, documented her lived experience during that period of time, and the clincher was we did her MSR, her medical summary report, and got her doctor to sign it. Now, the medical summary point is the clincher, as they say. This I learned in my SOAR training. MySOAR training is a training offered by the federal government Office of Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, at least it used to be. And it is a course to help social workers, primarily it was designed for social workers to help them prepare for their clients' Social Security applications for benefits and or appeals for benefits. And it has the best practices to utilize, understanding that you put the packet together and then you file everything together so that the person at the Social Security office, the agent, if you were there, didn't have to go to the trouble of trying to find everything. Because when you walk into the Social Security office, oh, I want to apply for Social Security. Well, that's going to move real slow because all of this documentation has to be collected by the agent who has to collect it for all the other people that came in that day. And so imagine where you might be on the line. And then this stuff some of it has to be chased down because one of the clinics has not responded in a month. And you get the picture. So it's always better to have someone else do it for you. And usually in hospital settings and or mental health settings, there's a social worker who has a specialty in applying for Social Security or assisting someone do that. The program that they have is free. Anybody can take it. All you gotta do is Google SOAR for Social Security, and it will direct you to where you need to be. And you receive that training. But many of you won't because it's several 20 hours, 30 hours of training, several weeks, whatever. Anyway, the medical summary report is usually what the local office, because that's where your medical determination is made, at your local office in your state. That's what they look at. And you don't have to see one of their doctors if your doctor has signed an MSR. And if your doctor has signed a medical summary report, it has, in summary, all of the stuff I just told you we collect. Put that together for her, and less than 6 months later, she was approved with back pay. This episode is for every soul caught in that particular struggle, fighting for benefits while your body is fighting you. Brothers and sisters, disability is not defeat. The system makes it hard on purpose, but knowledge is our weapon. When you apply for SSI or SSDI, you need more than a diagnosis. You need a case. You need a clear medical timeline. You need detailed records from multiple providers. You need statements from people who witness your struggles. Tonight's advocacy word is this: you are not faking your pain, but you do have to prove it. And that proof must speak louder than your condition. In our midnight law brief, we look at the topic of SSI versus SSDI, what you need and how to qualify. Of course, on the tiny URL, there's a starting place, and it happens to be my website, Lucious Conway, Social Security Disability Advocates. That's what I do. Do you have to pay me? I could charge you on the back end. You know, the system would Social Security will let me get some of your money to help you do this process. I don't though. Anyway, you got my tiny URL. You reach out to me, I'll help you without charging you any money, not a problem. SSI, for SSI, Supplemental Security Income. It's for low-income people who have few resources and a limited work history. It's based on your need, not on work credits, and you have to have less than $2,000 in assets if you're single. For Social Security Disability Insurance, which is SSDI, that's based on how much you worked and paid into Social Security. And you must have earned enough credits over the years in order to qualify for that program. It pays more than SSI, but it requires a solid work record. What you need for both is medical documentation, hospital records, specialist notes. You need daily activity limitations, fatigue, mobility, concentration. You need a work history for the past 15 years. A detailed application or appeal preferably with help. Now, there's your slide. That tiny URL is going to bring you to my website. And that's the starting place if you're going to need some help getting this done and you don't believe you're going to be able to do it. Very few people can just do it themselves. Anyway, I'm going to share with you resources that can also help as in addition to me. I'm not going to say as well as me, but in addition to me. Key phrases you want to use in the process is, can you send me a copy of my full treatment history from, and that's hospitals and clinics, and most of them are going to require that you fill out a form, and then the form has to be processed, etc., etc. It works like that. Does my condition meet a listed impairment on the SSA Blue Book? What in the world is the SSA Blue Book? You can look it up. It tells you what disabilities are covered. And it's not exhaustive because it also indicates that there are some disabilities that's not listed, but that are and or can be covered. You can Google that. How do I appeal this denial with updated medical information? How do I appeal a denial with updated medical information? Another question you can ask. You can file for a rehearing, and there's some additional information that you didn't have before that you have now, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's complex. It's a legal proceeding, so it is court, but it's administrative court. It's not criminal court. It's not civil court. It's administrative court. It's not based so much on case law and statutes as it's based on the regulations governing the administration of said governmental program. So it's a specialty. Regulatory advocacy is a specialty, and it's one I'm allowed to practice. So the tiny URL is to my website. But some other places you can go is the National Organization of Social Security Claimants Representatives. I'm one of them. I have a card, I actually have a card that has a number on it that allows me to be able to do the work I do, as well as to be able to go into the system and see what's in your file. Michigan Legal Help. You can Google Michigan Legal Help. They may have some resources for you there as well. But don't let the system make you invisible. Whatever you do, visit that tiny URL and at the very least start the process with power. Our spiritual food tonight is coming from Exodus chapter 3, verse 7. I've heard their cry, for I know their sorrows. Family, there's no shame in being sick, struggling, or in need. God does not ignore affliction. He draws near to it. And the same system that taxed your labor owes you relief when you can no longer labor. So apply boldly, document honestly, appeal persistently. You are not alone. Your suffering has a witness, and your midnight has a helper. You deserve rest. You deserve support. You deserve to be seen by the system you've contributed to. Tonight, review the difference between SSI and SSDI. Gather your medical and work documents as best you can. Start your application by visiting my website, dropping me an email. Share this episode with someone struggling in silence. You are not a burden. You're a blessing waiting for backing. Let's pray it out. The Lord bless you and keep you. May it sustain your body and support your case. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May grace go before every application and appeal. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. May peace fill your home, your finances, and your future. Rest well, family. You are worthy of support. You are covered in midnight strength. And we rise. One claim, one prayer, one midnight at a time. This is the Midnight Advocate.